Welcome back to Talk Property to Me. My name is Brad East.
I'm Aaron Downie, and today we're talking about 7 big trends that are reshaping the property market, rather.
Get it out, mate.
in 2025.
So we'll jump straight into it. Number one is millennials. So now the largest adult cohort in Australia are millennials.
Yeah, and that's super important with number 4, which is shrinking backyards, and it's just that thing that people have different preferences for properties nowadays.
Yeah. So that's going to shift the supply and demand sort of dynamics a little bit, because millennials want different things than your typical boomers and other sort of generations that have come through.
And when you're planning, and especially for investment, you need to make sure that you're catering to those audiences. So who are you going to resell to, or who are you going to lease your house to? Is it going to be a family, a downsizer, or a millennial? You've got to look at those demographics.
Yeah, and we're finding that millennials are more, leaning towards lifestyle options.
100%.
You know, they're preferring smaller places closer to cities.
Yeah.
They want to be able to go to the cafes and all those sort of things and live a bit more of a social life.
Yeah,
which is making a big difference.
Number two.
Whoa. Stepping stones. So home ownership is becoming more gradual. So basically people are using apartments and smaller places as stepping stones to get their dream home.
And that's people realising that they just can't outsave the market. So instead of just saving and saving and saving for the big family home, get a 1-bedroom or 2-bedroom unit or a townhouse, wherever you are in stages of life, and just get into the market.
Yeah. One thing I always say to people, it's your first home, not your last home.
Yeah.
You're going to sell this within 5 years.
Yeah. And it is. It's, getting in the market and then revisiting things whenever you've got the equity or you're in a position to do, make it sort of change or an upsize or downsize, whatever it is.
Yeah. So the next one is new pathways. So we're seeing it a lot already. Governments are coming up with new schemes to get people, especially first home buyers, into the market easier.
Yeah.
So I think next year we'll continue to see that, especially this year. 2025.
Yeah.
In the past.
Co-buying, like new pathways, co-buying and rent-to-own schemes, I don't think they're going to take off and they're going to be the primary driver behind the market, but they're just extra ways. And there's a couple of businesses in Sydney, I think one's called Bricklets, where you can buy fractional shares of property, and it's just an investment vehicle for people to invest $100,000 instead of, taking out a loan or
something a little bit safer than
something
shares.
Slightly safer, but it's just getting in the market. But I think one thing we left out here is just that rent vesting strategy.
Oh, 100%. That's going to be really popular, I think, coming forward, especially with affordability.
Yeah, 100%.
You can buy a $500,000-$600,000 decent investment somewhere in a different state or different location than where you can rent, and you'll long-term be better off.
Exactly.
So, back onto the pathway stuff, we have got the first home loan deposit schemes. We've got all these different things. I think we will see more sort of popping their head up.
Yeah.
And I don't think we got the election this year. I don't think that Liberals going to want to continue with Labor's equity share scheme.
100%.
That'll be shit canned, and there'll be a new one pop up. Personally, I'm not a massive fan of the government owning 40% of my house. I much prefer the Liberal government's first home loan deposit scheme where they just guaranteed the 15% balance and you went in with 5%, no LMI.
Yeah.
The government doesn't own half your house.
Yeah, exactly.
Shrinking backyards, so that was number 4, and these all sort of do tie in because the millennials, as I said, they want to be closer to the city.
Yeah.
They don't want to live in the outskirts.
And it's like you said, millennials, but then they're leaning towards that lifestyle which is closer to amenities, but it's also that, like with the economic times that we're in at the moment, everyone realises the cost of living. And it's what you're willing to compensate on. So people are working their ass off. The last thing they want to do is go home and mow a big back lawn.
Yeah, 100%.
So it is that, a lot of people say that land is where the value of a home is. And it technically is because the building depreciates. But it doesn't matter how much your land value is. You have to have somebody willing to buy it.
Yeah.
And if you've got 10 people willing to buy one asset, well, you're gonna have a bigger sale price for that because you've got higher demand.
Yeah, and it's price per square meter.
100%.
You know, your price per square meter in a great location is a lot higher than in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
So that's something people need to account for.
Yeah.
And how much that price per square meter has grown over a set period.
Just think about, like, if you say you've got, you know, 1,000 square metre block in Newcastle or Sydney, and no one turns up to the open home. You know, why? And then everyone's turning up to a 4-bedroom modern house on 400 square metres.
It's location.
It doesn't matter it doesn't matter that you've got 600 extra square metres. You haven't got people lining up to buy it.
Yeah.
So it's not valuable.
No. And we're seeing this. So number 5, I think this is a massive one. People want green homes. They're wanting that extra level of insulation. They're wanting the solar panels. They're wanting the smart homes as well, all the tech, things that can turn on and off while you're not there.
Yeah.
That's going to be a massive one over the next few years.
And it's you know, people, of course, you know, millennials, this thing coming back to millennials again, they're conscious of climate change. They're conscious of sustainability, but they're also conscious of the cost of living and the cost of energy now.
Yep.
So if they can reduce their energy bills by all of these sustainable materials or well-insulated homes, like you said, it's, you know, it's the chargers, the solar panels. You know, most likely they've got an electric car to plug in as well. So
I think batteries are getting cheaper as well for the solar systems. So we're going to really start seeing self-sufficient houses.
Yeah.
And there is a market of people looking for these.
And that's the thing, like when you're selling a house, people want something that already has solar panels.
Yep.
So if you don't have solar panels compared to a house that does, it's a consideration that buyers.
They're looking at taking 15 grand off what they expect it's worth anyway.
Yeah.
If it doesn't have solar.
They go, oh, I've got to come in here and put solar panels on the roof.
Especially if it's got a pool or anything that does draw a lot of energy.
Yeah.
That's almost a given. They want solar.
Yeah.
Urban sprawl, so that basically means that metro areas are spreading out, so the outskirts of cities are becoming almost inner west.
Yeah.
That's going to continue, and that the main reason for that's affordability.
Yeah, affordability, and then which falls in line with those decreasing backyards in proximity to amenities, because you know you're going slightly further out than the city. But you've still got that lifestyle where, you know, you're only 20 minutes out. You can still get takeaway. You can still catch an Uber. You're still close to things, but you just drive a little bit further out.
Yep. And rise of renters. So final one here. Home ownership rates are declining a little bit.
Yeah.
There will be good opportunities, I think, in 2025 for investors.
Yeah. And it is. It's like, it's harder and harder to get into the property market. So there's more renters, but the people who can get into the property market are still entering.
Yeah.
And it's almost becoming like property hoarding, because the people who invest in property and build portfolios, they typically own a fair few.
Yeah.
So it's becoming a lot harder. So there's an increased portion of renters, which is only great for property investment, really, driving up rental returns.
So these are 7 really good points to really look out for this year. Really build your strategies around these sort of points. And if you've got any comments or anything that you want us to talk about this year, throw it in the comments. Hit the like and subscribes and all those things. And we'll catch you on the next one.
Yeah, see you on the next one.
Thank you.